Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. If you're a returning listener, it's great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, really glad you joined us. Hope you like what you hear. Our podcast is for people who either want to learn something new or make themselves a little bit better every day. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about and give you 5 tips to bring some meaning to your life. And it's very important that you have some meaning to what you have going on in your life. And so when you say meaning, chasing material things, chasing status, chasing some type of external recognition is generally a very unsatisfying and unfulfilling way to live your life. Don't get me wrong, we've done it. We've been there. We know what it's like. This isn't preachy. It's not supposed to be judgmental. It's not moralizing. What we have found in our over half a century on the earth is that the people we see that are most happy, most content, and most fulfilled with their lives are the ones who prioritize relationships and experiences and meaning over money and fame and fortune. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have both. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to do the best you can financially, socially, whatever the case may be, but it shouldn't be the only thing in your life, and it certainly shouldn't be the overriding factor of why you do what you do or how you behave, or drive how you behave, or drive that in your mind. So that's really what we're talking about here. How do we get to the point where what we get the most value out of in our lives are the experiences we go through and or share with other people? That's really what we're trying to get to here. So that's the episode. Hope you find it useful. Let's just jump into it from there and we'll see how it takes us. So tip number 1 is you have to define your core values. That meaning that you're looking for is going to come from aligning the values that are important to you with actions that will help deliver more of the core values that you're looking to have in your life. As an example, someone who says they value family, but they spend all their time working or at bars or whatever, may feel unhappy and unfulfilled. So I can tell you that one is one that's always been a challenge for us because we work a ton, always have. Fortunate that my wife is very supportive and very helpful. My kids seem to have gotten it. And I did do a lot of things, especially when they were young, coaching teams, doing field trips, volunteering for things at school on days I had off of work to show, hey, I'm not just saying this is important to me. This is important to me. You wouldn't find me at a bar caddying around, chasing skirts, looking for a good time, philandering outside of my marriage, prioritizing things that didn't have to do with my family, because that's always been very important to me. And I've always known that. And that for me is very easy to keep aligned. For a lot of people, that can be challenging, and that's okay. The most important part is to recognize it and do your best at continuing to improve on targeting those things that are your core values. So how do you do that? Take 10 minutes every day, reflect on it, write it in a journal, take notes, what truly matters to you, and then say, what am I doing to drive those types of activities or experiences in my life? If it's nothing, you got to make some changes. If you're doing one thing, that's great. Maybe you do that one thing better. Maybe you do 2 things. Maybe you keep trying to slowly focus or slowly increase the focus on those particular things. But if you don't try to align those things, you might get right in a broken clock is right twice a day, but without clear values, clear commitment, clear things that are important to you, people drift through life. And that's when you start to feel lost, disconnected, like there's no meaning to what you're doing. And that's what, that's where you wind up in a bad spot. So like, what would a success story look like here? A success story could be someone who refocused, a workaholic. Let's take a workaholic who refocused on balancing what they're working on at work and what they're working on in their life. And that leads to improved mental well-being and relationships. So that'd be a success story. That would be hey, my core values are not how I'm living my life. I'm going to reprioritize my family, my friends, my experiences, and get more out of those and be more present when I'm doing those things. So there's tip number 1 for you guys. Okay. Tip number 2, pursue activities that spark passion and purpose. So people who do what they love feel more engaged and energized. I would argue you can actually flip this around. And if you learn to love what you do, like from a career perspective, everyone says, follow your passion, follow your dream. Look, there's a very small number of people that works for. And that's great if it does. More power to you. We're happy for you. But the reality is, not a lot of us grew up wanting to be, I don't know, an accountant, a sales manager for the West Coast for widgets, whatever. Insert job here. But you can make a very good living and provide a very good living for your family and the people you care about in those fields. But if you're going to be really good at it and really enjoy it, you got to develop a passion for doing what you do. And there's nothing wrong with saying, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to learn to be really good at it. And I'm going to learn to be passionate about it. And I'm going to learn to really embrace it. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to take what you do, and as you develop that functional expertise, use that functional expertise in other ways that still pertain to your work, but aren't directly related to your work. For example, if you're an attorney who shifts from corporate law to human rights work or does some pro bono work, that could give you a renewed sense of purpose. So you've got to identify activities that make you lose track of time. What can you get immersed in where you go, holy cow, I didn't realize an hour went by because I was just really driving and grinding and really into what I was doing. Incorporate more of those types of things into your schedule. So the downside to ignoring this is if you just stick to the basics in your career, your routine, and it's just financial gain that's driving you or just making more money or just getting ahead, you're going to burn out. You're going to be dissatisfied. You're going to be unhappy. And it's going to lead you to places you don't necessarily want to be. It can damage your relationships, can damage your mental health long term. We want to get rid of that. So let's say a success story here. So it could be a teacher who started mentoring struggling youth, and that led to a greater sense of fulfillment as they saw the impact they had in these kids' lives. So there's tip number 2. All right, tip number 3. We talk about this a lot. This is one of the most important things in the world. Build strong, meaningful relationships. Relationships are one of the greatest sources of meaning. They just are. We are very fortunate to have met our wife so young in our lives. I was 21 and she was 19 when we got married. And we were just lucky. We were 20 and 18 when we met, 21 and 19 when we got married, 22 and 20 when we had our first kid. And I've always just gotten a ton of value out of that relationship because she is very important to me and I'm very important to her. And that just is what it is. And that's never been a challenge for me. I've always known that's important. I've always factored that into all of the decisions that I make, that she makes. It's at the core of what we do. And that's one of the reasons we've been happy together for 30 plus years, because it's important to us. So studies show that people with strong social connections live longer and report higher happiness levels. So that could be friends, it could be coworkers. For me, it's family. It's clearly family. I've got 3 sons I'm very fortunate to have. I've got sisters that I've got great relationships with. I'm close to my mom. So there are study after study that show the relationships are the most important part. And so you've got to focus on building stronger relationships. So how do you do that? Set a goal. Set an actionable habit change. Once a week, I'm going to have a deep conversation with somebody that's important to me and or reach out to an old friend and rekindle those conversations. Just do it. Just pick up the phone and say, hey, I've been thinking about you. We haven't talked for decades. Wanted to see how you were doing. Thought it'd be cool for us to catch up. Might work out, might not. Maybe they're not at a point in their life where they can manage that new relationship or rekindle that relationship. That's okay. Maybe it happens somewhere down the road. If it doesn't happen there, find another outlet for it. Nothing wrong with that. So if you don't do this, you're going to be very lonely. You're going to be isolated socially. And those things are linked to depression, poor health, and suicide. And that's not a place you want to be. And it's as easy as talking to people. You can fix all of those things if you just talk to people. So not hard to do, not hard to do at all. For some reason, we make it hard. It's not hard to just kindle up a conversation with someone that you're close to, that you used to know, that you're standing in line at the grocery store. There's lots of ways to do it. But you got to think about it that way. It's on you to develop really strong relationships, and your life will become instantly more meaningful and useful if you focus on that. So a success story here might be a widow retiree who joins a community group and gained a sense of belonging with that group. Instead of sitting at home and reading a book and not having friends or a social group, now you've got one because you took some chances and you put yourself out there. And that's a great way to go. Tip number 4, serve others and give back. So helping other people provides a deep sense of meaning. Volunteering, mentoring, simple acts of kindness. Hold the door open for someone. Help them carry a heavy load to their car. Stop them so they can share an umbrella with you in the rain. Little things like that can make a huge difference. So actionable change there could be commit to one act of service a week. Maybe it's donating. Maybe it's mentoring. Maybe it's listening to someone in a conversation. Those things can go so much further than you know. Now, if you ignore this stuff, it's going to lead you to a self-centered, self-focused life, which is going to be very unfulfilling, and it's going to make you feel empty, and it's going to make your life feel like it has less meaning. And a success story here could be a self-centered entrepreneur who started a charity and found new motivation in life because they could see the impact they were having on others. So serving others and giving back is a great way to go. Can't go wrong there for sure. So, okay. Tip number 5, continuously learn and grow. Meaning is found in progress and self-improvement. So there's lots of studies out now that show there's maybe a flaw in the way we think about aging as a population. So I think a lot of people think, well, it's inevitable that as you get older, you will slow down, you will lose your mental acuity, you lose your strength, and eventually it just ends. There's lots of studies now that show that cognitive decline or that physical decline can be greatly pushed down the road simply by remaining active and refusing to give in to Mother Nature. Now, we're not talking about doing the swimsuit issue for Sports Illustrated or the cover of Men's Health magazine in your 70s. Great. If that's what you're pursuing, good for you. We say that might be a little extreme, and that's okay. That's just not us. But by pushing yourself and not allowing yourself to accept, oh, I guess I just have to slow down now because I'm in my 50s or my 60s or my 70s. Maybe you don't. Maybe we're doing it wrong, and maybe we're acquiescing to the chains of time sooner than we need to. So there's lots of things you can do to stay sharp and continuously learn and grow. Take a new class, read a new book, a different book, more books, or learning a new skill that can reinvigorate your passion for life. There's lots of things to do out there. You just got to do them. And you can just look around, take 15 minutes a day and learn something new. Might be through books, might be a podcast, might be a conversation, might be an online course. Doesn't matter. But stay active and force yourself to continue to take those steps. And that will help you continuously learn and grow, which will in turn help you foster stronger relationships, which will lead to a more meaningful life. So success here may look like someone who retires and takes up painting, leading to a second career and renewed enthusiasm for life. Flip side of that is you do nothing, you could stagnate, you could become really bored, and it could drive you to kind of a sense of purposelessness and hopelessness, which is not where we want to be at all. So yeah, guys, those are our top 5 tips there. Let's just recap those one more time. Number 1 is define your core values. Number 2 is to pursue activities that spark passion and purpose. Conversely, you can learn to be passionate about and love activities that you have to do, a la work, so that you really get the most out of what you do for a living. Tip number 3 is build strong, meaningful relationships. Tip number 4 is to serve others and give back. And tip number 5 is to continuously learn and grow. So I think those are pretty straightforward, but they're powerful. It might not sound like much, guys, but those are powerful tips we just shared with you. And they are absolutely the key to a happier, more fulfilled life. And you'll notice we didn't talk a lot about you. What are you bringing? What are you bringing to the table? It's the interactions that you're having with other people that are going to add value to your situation. And that's where you should be focusing your time, effort, and resources. So that's the episode for today, guys. James puts it up over here every day. We've got a website, saltygingertalk.com. We've got all of our podcast episodes available on there. We've got all of our social media accounts on there, the links to all those. And then we publish a newsletter every weekday that you can subscribe to on our website as well. It'd be great if you can subscribe to that. We'd love it if you could hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons on whatever platform it is you consume our podcast on, because it's terribly, terribly helpful for us. Appreciate you guys sticking with us. Had a bit of a health scare, but we're back in the saddle now. And I'm really glad that you're still with us. Really looking forward to re-engaging with our audience and with our team. And really looking forward to seeing you guys on the next podcast episode. So everybody have a great week. Thanks.